All right, what's good, people? It is Friday evening, so another weekly recap, and I'll keep this one brief. I'll definitely go into more detail in the Sunday focus list video, but I got a dinner to catch here shortly. A pretty uneventful week, at least from my perspective, in the market and in my account. Not much happening here, just a whole game of patience. One thing we have been talking about lately was just the potential for a little bit of the dip in the market is over the last handful of days here, last week or so. We've been trading close to that 2 ATR level. So you can actually see here early this week, we hit just about 2 ATR, and we got the flush back to the 21. So, with this flush, there can be a little bit of short-term volatility, but you take that big step back, you look at the market here, this is just the same pullback we're going to get time and time again. So the big question is now, was this nothing but another dip to the 21 and the market once again turns a corner and starts bumping back towards those highs, or are we going to see a little bit more downside? So at least as of the close, QQQ holding up really well above that 21, and the S&P 500, we never even hit the 21 this week. So all in all, a whole bunch of chop, a whole bunch of back and forth. And like I mentioned, nothing really happening here in my account this week. So, what did work were a couple of iron condors on the NDX, just bringing in a little bit of premium from, again, some of the choppiness here. What didn't work was the put credit spreads in Blink. So Blink had such a good-looking structure, holding above the 21, stacked moving averages. The histogram looked really solid. Kind of fell apart this week. So, you could have held on at that 50 SMA as support, and maybe it does turn the corner here. For peace of mind's sake, I just cut it loose there yesterday. So I'm out of Blink, but I'm still holding on to Amazon. So I actually added to Amazon. Jeez, this weekly squeeze just does not get any better than this. So, I feel like I talk about this setup every single day, but until it either fires long or short, I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be focusing on it because I do think there's some good money to be made here. So I did add a couple positions to the Amazon weekly squeeze today, which I'll cover those positions in the Sunday video. But for the March expiration put credit spreads that we sold in the simpler options room, I think we got a good chance of collecting 70-75% of the max profit on those next week. So as we're continuing to build positions here, we're getting paid from the passage of time holding the credit spreads, which is nice. I did take another entry here into NVIDIA, so that weekly squeeze is killer. And with the pullback in the market came a nice little dip here for NVIDIA down to the 8 EMA. So I jumped into another put credit spread. And the thought process here is that, of course, NVIDIA could roll over. Potentially, though, as we're firing a weekly squeeze, whether you scalp, you day trade, you swing trade, regardless, once a weekly squeeze begins to fire, and you look at the most previous example, we want to be looking for opportunity here for weeks and not months on end, pretty much until the squeeze is done firing. So it's not to say that has to happen again, but hell, good looking weekly squeeze. Should NVIDIA continue to rally here over the next handful of weeks to handful of months, I want to be positioned. And we got a couple more we'll cover on Sunday, but for Tesla here, a pretty soft week, but we did hold up right at that 780 level that I discussed last weekend. So we did close just above the weekly 8. And looking at the daily chart here, we're working with a daily squeeze, which isn't looking too hot, trading under the 21, but we did hold up at the 50-period simple moving average. So I would certainly like to see Tesla get going next week. I'll share with you the game plan for that one in Sunday's video. But I think at this point, we got the dip to the 21 for the Qs. Nothing really happened here in the SPY. Quite frankly, I don't think anything changed about the market as far as structure goes here this week. So the big question is, do we once again rally off the 21 back towards new all-time highs? And if we do, for those of us with positions in names like Amazon, AMD, Tesla, etc., we should benefit from that. If we don't hold up and we do sell off a little bit here, here's where things get exciting. Keep a good focus list of stocks that you want a long position in, and then understand if the market sells off, you're probably going to get an entry in, say, pins at a much better price than you could right now. If the market does sell off further, we're probably getting an opportunity to pick up NVIDIA even lower, maybe a little bit closer to the 21. So we shall see. But I'll cover all my open positions in the Sunday video, the setups I'm going to focus on next week. But we're off to a good start here so far this year. So I appreciate y'all watching. Please, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Check us out at simplertrading.com and make sure you follow them here on YouTube as well. And I hope y'all have a good weekend. Please be safe. For anybody in Texas, I hope that weather situation gets better for you soon. Definitely. We got a little bit of snow coming down in Massachusetts. Not much. But have a good weekend. I'll talk to y'all on Sunday. Until then, be safe.